All right. Welcome everybody to another stream here on all of my accounts on TikTok, LinkedIn, everywhere that we can stream, we will be streaming. And today I am going to go live for about an hour where I'm going to talk about what I actually do, what we do within Titanology, because it can sometimes be a little bit, how should I say, it's not always as easy as it seems to explain what we do with Titanify. And that's what I want to talk about today so you can understand better what we do. And it's also an exercise for me to actually explain it, to actually try to explain it so you understand, so everybody understands, and it's very straightforward, it's very relevant to your business, to what you do. That's what I want to do today. So welcome everybody if you're watching live, if you're watching even on the recording, welcome. You can always put your comments in chat, in the comments, and I will be coming back to you as soon as I can if I see them. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm just going to check here if everything is fine. It seems fine. And can I see? Oh yeah, now I can see who is joining. That's good. Welcome. Okay. So I made a little bit of a presentation which I'm going to go through because this presentation is what I'm going to use moving forward, especially for small business owners. Because with Titanify, with what I do, we can service a lot of businesses. Everybody needs what we have, what we can do for them. But sometimes it's easier to talk to a specific audience, either small business owners, or it's departments in corporates, or even bigger companies. It depends on the audience, right? So in this case, the presentation is mainly for small business owners and how we can help them, what we do to help them out day by day. That's what I'm going to talk about. That's the presentation that I'm going to share. So let's get into it. Okay, here we go. So this is our presentation. So what do we do with Titanify? How can we help you as a small business owner? And to make it as relevant as possible, I created a little bit of a story that describes a day in the life of a small business owner. The kind of steps that usually are something you do within it each and every day within your business, and how that relates to what we do, how we can help you with your day-to-day tasks, your day-to-day operations, the things you need to do to still grow your business. Now, sometimes if people think about small business owners, they all have a different perception about what they think a small business owner is doing. So your friends might be thinking you're basically just partying all the time. Your mom thinks that you're just doing, well, absolutely nothing, right? And that you're just taking some sun in whatever field that is. What society thinks you do, I'm not sure what they think it is. Oh yeah, it's just like lending money all the time. Okay, that's the one. Your customers just think that you're counting your money every single day and that you're earning big bucks. What I think I do, this is all about team building and building an amazing team and helping the world and changing the world. But what you actually are doing is a lot of work which nobody is seeing, and you sometimes feel a little bit like that picture. And that picture actually is where we want to help you with. Like, if you feel like you are that picture, you feel like there's so much stuff going on, everything is on your shoulders, that's where we want to lighten the load, let's say, with what we do. The goal for many business owners, and here it's in Dutch, but I'll just tell you in English, It's about not having any stress. It's about getting new customers, a lot of them, and not having a lot of problems. That's definitely the goal for many business owners today. Now, what is the reality? You have too many to-dos, 100%. There's always something you can do, and everything just piles onto your to-do list. And there's definitely, if I talk to a lot of small business owners, the first thing that I would say about marketing or even sales is that they don't have time for that. They have to do a lot of things. They have to service the customer, to do delivery, to help their team, to do the administration. But marketing and sales are sometimes, in most cases, an afterthought. And also a lot of firefighting, right? That's Dutch. Constant brandjes blussen, that's Dutch for constantly putting out little fires, being a firefighter within your own business, because your team members are doing not what you expect them to do, customers are complaining for whatever, or you always get something into your inbox that you need to take care of. So that's really the reality. That's why it feels sometimes like you're drowning in a lot of these tasks, drowning in paperwork, drowning in administration. That's how it feels like, and it doesn't have to be like that all the time. But the thing is that I guess a lot of small business owners that have started their business with a specific expertise, you're good at something, you start your business, and then you want to grow it, but you grow it around your expertise. And sometimes people forget to expand their field of view. They start just to have that kind of tunnel vision where they just go and go and go alongside their expertise and just doing that and not really paying much attention to anything else, which means that you're doing a lot of things from your experience, from your years of experience, that you're doing the same thing again and again. While there is no streamlined process, you know how to do things, you know how to get things done. It's not always the most efficient way to do things, but because you've been so involved with all of the day-to-day work, you just forget that there might be another way to do this. You also have too many tools. That's what I see as well. A lot of business owners, along the years, they stack up their tool set, and they start maybe with just Outlook, but after a few years, they have so many tools and they're using it for whatever reason, and a little piece here, a little bit piece there, and in the end they have too many tools, right? Because they have the tunnel vision, they can't see an overview anymore. They don't know how to consolidate, they don't know how to trim it down into a working piece, into maybe just a couple of tools, and just streamlining those couple of tools so that it becomes more efficiency. Yeah, too many things, too many tools. You're not going to get enough work done if you're just spending your time in 10, 20, 30, 40, I don't know how many tools that you have right now to help you manage your business, to help you do the day-to-day work. You have to realize, and this is actually, and these are numbers coming from studies, and you have to really realize that inefficiencies in your business can cost organizations as much as 20 to 30% of the revenue each and every year. Which means that if you have around a 200K per year revenue in your business, you're actually wasting 60K per year because you're not doing it efficiently, because of all the things you have to do, all the tools, not a streamlined process, all your team members, all the firefighting. You keep wasting your time on these kind of things while it should not be like that. And the average company loses over 25% of its productive powered organizational drag, which means that if you have a team of 5 people, you're actually paying them 10 hours per week to do nothing. I mean, if you're a business owner, you would want your team to be really as productive as possible, right? You don't want to pay people just to do nothing. So we want to fix that for sure. So I want to tell you about Renaissance. That's one of our customers. That's a case study of what we have been doing for them. They are a company, one owner, one admin person, and 6 field workers that are renovating windows all across the country. This is in the UK, but it's just showing one example of what we can do for this type of business. But you can replace Renaissance with a lot of other service businesses. It doesn't really matter that much. The processes are more or less the same. And look, the same things come back and back, come back again and again. All the same type of processes come back. Now, in this case, the owner was losing a lot of time. Also, the whole team was losing a lot of time doing the simple things. Doing the customer follow-up, quotations, invoicing, whatever they needed to do to keep the business running, and making sure that the planning was there, that the customers knew what was happening, and getting the requests, all of these kind of things, everything that you can imagine that is part of a customer journey, they are doing like everybody else. It's not that complicated, but they lost a lot of time. They're still into this kind of mindset like, okay, it's working like this for 10 years, so it has to be working for, I mean, this is it, right? This is the process. This is how we do things, right? And not even thinking about doing it in another way, until actually the owner, after a lot of thought, really decided to change things up. Because if you want to keep growing as a business, at a certain stage you will hit that threshold. You will hit a ceiling, right? You will hit that ceiling where if you want to break through the ceiling of growth, you have to do things differently. You cannot keep doing the same thing again and again. Another problem that this particular customer had was that all the information communication was spread across several tools, and by going through the whole process with them, like what they were doing right now, I quickly saw that this could be much more simplified, streamlined, so that they could win time, so it's more efficient. And I guess also a big thing about this is the customer experience. This is something that I have been repeating a lot as well. If you want to have a good customer experience, so imagine your customer journey, every touch point that you have with a customer, potential customer, your customer you want the customer to feel that it's a great experience. Now, if you're losing a lot of time, if you're not efficient, it could take some time before you get back to the customer. It could take some time for maybe if somebody joins your company, your program, they said yes to a specific project, maybe you send them pieces of the project, but it's not related to each other, and you send it through email, you do it by phone, you do it manually even. This is not a consistent way to treat customers, so it becomes a little bit of a, I mean, it's not that kind of an experience that you want every customer to have, because if you can create that same type of experience, you can really show the customer that you've got your ducks in a row, right? And that's important, that they feel like, yes, this was a good decision, because there is always that buyer's remorse. So if you are able to show by showing your streamlined process, by giving them a feeling like that they're at the right place, this will help a lot to retain your customers, to get more referrals and so on, and eventually getting more customers. That's also part of this. Now, if we look at a day in the life of that business owner, there are some tasks that they were doing day by day. And we're going to go through each of these tasks in this presentation, and I'm going to show you how it got started, like what was their current situation and how we solved that, what we did to streamline that more. The first thing is really following up with emails, projects, whatever came through the last couple of days. Just imagine if you've been on a holiday for 2 weeks, you come back to your business and you haven't checked your emails yet, all of these kind of things. You, even after a weekend, right, you are looking at an exploding email inbox, because that is the main way that you have been communicating, not just with your customers, but also with your team. So what we started to look at is Microsoft 365. We are very good at that. We have been doing this for more than a decade now, so we know how this stuff works. So for that customer, they had an Office 365 license because they were already using Outlook. Now the communication that they got from customers and inquiries and so on, it came through email, internal communication through Slack, through WhatsApp and so on. And since they already had 365, we consolidated that into Teams. Now Teams is a powerful tool, and if you also add CoPilot to that, that's the AI tool from 365, you can do pretty cool stuff with it. And especially if we're looking at getting up to date with all of the most important pieces that you have missed across the last 2 weeks, for example. If you would want to do that in a one simple overview, well, you would have to go through each mail, right? Probably will do that anyway, but if you want to really get a quick overview, you would be able to use CoPilot to just ask it to give a summary of the highest priority emails from the last 2 weeks. And you get something like this. Or you can go a little bit more advanced and you can ask it to create a table with all of the pieces of information that you might have missed in the last 2 weeks, with references to the emails, to the documents, to even the chats. So that is pretty powerful stuff. So if you feel like your information is all across all across your tools, and if you have Office 365, you can use this to really help you out getting quicker to the information, right? That this is saving a lot of time for people. And the other task is, again, if they get new requests from potential new customers, they were using several tools. They were using a specific CRM tool, a very lightweight one. So they had to combine it with Trello. They had to combine it with, of course, with Outlook, and they were even keeping track of some things in Excel at the same time. You can imagine if you have to follow up with some of these new requests, going through 4 tools at once, not the most ideal way to do this. So what we did is we actually implemented Pipedrive. And Pipedrive is the CRM tool by choice here because it integrates very well with email. Now there are other CRMs out there. You can use Team Leader, you can use Odoo, you can use Brevo, and you can even use Dynamics 365 for sales. It doesn't really matter which tool that you're using. The point is that if you've been building up all of your tools the last couple of years to manage incoming requests, to manage your customer journey from the beginning with the marketing, your sales process basically, and it's really all over the place, it's a good idea to start thinking about, well, maybe putting it in a single CRM will help a lot, and that's what we did. So creating a nice overview. This is like Trello, but at least it also integrates with your email. It has all the contact information. It has a lot of features, right? It also has automations that you can use within Pipedrive. It's pretty cool stuff, pretty powerful stuff within this CRM, and it's still user-friendly. It's not as bloated as HubSpot. It's not as expensive as HubSpot, for example, or Salesforce, or SAP. For a small business owner, this is very good already. You can also use integrations with Google Maps, for example, to show on a map where your customers are at, especially for a service business like Renosage, where they have to go and renovate windows. You want to get a good planning for your field workers so they can go to not just to the right place, but also from one place to another. So that's why we use this feature. So yeah, that's why we used Pipedrive. So Looking at, if you go task 1, task 2, you can see that we trimmed it down to just a few tools. Now task number 3 was one of their biggest tasks, was all about creating quotes, and they used so many tools for this, it is crazy. And not, I mean, many tools, yes, but also many Excel sheets where all the information was again all over the place. They had a couple of Excel sheets where they had to aggregate information from this sheet, take a couple of pieces here, take a couple of pieces there, put it together, then create a Word file, get some things from their GoodNotes, which they use to take screenshots or pictures from the windows, make annotations. Then they had to all assemble that. I mean, that's a huge process already. Process that is not as streamlined, because if you have to go and find all the information in all of these places, it can become really a mess. I mean, they know what they were doing for sure, but the time they were losing with this is crazy. So we decided, again, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the information is available in the single CRM tool, Pipedrive, but we also decide that some of this information that's in an Excel sheet, where all the prices were, all the products, we're going to put that in lists in SharePoint. And with lists in SharePoint, you can start from an Excel sheet even, and it creates a kind of a database. Some people might still know Access, right? It's never been the best tool, and I'm not saying list is the perfect replacement for this or even the best tool again, but to get started, to get away from all of these other documents that you have and put it in one place, I think that is really the main gist of this. Putting your information in the same place is important here. That's why using something like lists can help out a lot. It is a bit kind of an Excel, but you can do a lot of things with this. As you can see here, drag and drop of pictures into cells, into fields is possible. But the powerful piece within this list is the ability to use automations again. That's where we excel in as well, no pun intended. That's where we're good at, creating a streamlined process, but also automating that process. And if you use tools like this, it becomes more easy to do that. So that's what we did. And you can also, of course, use smart talks. For example, within Pipedrive, you have the possibility to generate documents from the information that is in your Pipedrive. So no longer you need to copy paste information from all of these other locations to create a document from your proposal. You can do that within Pipedrive. Again, enough like a big time saver. So all of that, consolidating that in, again, a couple of tools. Another task, another thing to do if you're looking at your day as a business owner. So you've gone through your emails already pretty quickly. You've followed up with all of the new requests through your CRM. You've started to create quotes for these kind of new requests. And now you want to create some meetings with your customer, or you want to do an internal meeting with your team. You want to communicate with your team what's going on with these new projects. In our case study, the customer was using, again, WhatsApp, email, Zoom, maybe even Google Meet at one point, maybe PowerPoint. Also a lot of written communication as well, just manually. So what we try to do there, and this is what we do with every company, to be honest, this is what we try to do, is to, again, bring it all into one place. It is so important, so valuable to create one single place, the place, how do they call it? A single place of truth, right? A single place where you store as much of the information as you can, communicate about it, collaborate on it, and also being able to use AI on it. So not just ChatGPT, which you again use as a copy-paste tool, but something like CoPilot, M365, that is seamlessly integrated within these tools. For example, if you're running a meeting, if while you're doing the meeting within Teams, you can run CoPilot, you can ask CoPilot to write the key topics or even create action items while you're in the call. This is done through CoPilot. This is the big advantage of something like that, and it saves a lot of time. You don't need to write everything down anymore. You can also use tools like Loop or whiteboards within your meetings to quickly generate whatever has been talked about, create key points. All of that jazz is possible within 365. This looks fancy, but just imagine what you can do with it. It's such a time saver, to be honest. It's such a way to store, to centralize all the information and still being able to collaborate on it without any restrictions. Teams chat, same thing. If you have internal communications with your team, you can also use CoPilot to show the highlights from the past 7 days. Where can you do that? How can you do that without going back through the chats? If you're using WhatsApp, for example, you have to go through the full chat to see what did we talk about again, or you put stuff in your notes, or you pin. I mean, this tool, right, saves a lot of time just to have an idea what have we been talking about. If you had several meetings with your customer through Teams and you have recorded them, or you applied or you activated the transcription, you can use CoPilot to ask, give me highlights of the last 7 meetings. What did we miss? What are the action items? What do we need to focus on? It's so important to be able to do that. Saves a lot of time. I cannot live without it anymore, to be honest. No way. Another example here where we actually take those action items from a meeting, for example, and we put that in a Word document where we ask CoPilot to draft a little bit of a project summary from those points. Like that. If you want to do this manually, go ahead, but you're going to waste a lot of time. This creates drafts, to be clear. This is not a final product. This is not a final document that you're going to create. Same as you create a presentation from that same Word file, automatically the presentation is created. Is it perfect? By no means, but it's a draft that you can start working on based on your own branding already. This saves so much time. It is incredible. So as you can start seeing here, while the customer had so many tools already, we were able to trim it down just to a couple of tools. And again, the big advantage of using Microsoft 365 is that you have all of these tools already available within the same license. Now, last task that's mostly overlooked at as a business owner, as a busy business owner, is marketing, even sales. What is your sales process? What is your marketing process? How do you do marketing? Do you just create content when you have some 5 minutes? How do you create content? How do you post content? Do you do it manually or not? It is something that we help with as well. That's a process that we automate as much as we can to at least create drafts for all the posts, all the content, all the material, all the marketing material that you could create for your business. So at least within a small amount of time, you can really leverage automation and AI to create content that could last for a month, maybe 2 months, and that's short form, long form, whatever you want. You can run it through this kind of a workflow that we are making available to the customer. And it's using tools like Copy AI, but also again, it can use tools like CoPilot and Teams. So within this Copy AI tool, you can also use workflows, automations to do creation of content one piece at a time. But something that a lot of people oversee as well is that you can actually create chatbots as well on your website that uses your data, it uses your information to help your potential customer or customers that are already there to answer questions based on your data. You can do that with CoPilot as well, or with any other chatbot tool. But this should I mean, if you want to make your business future proof, you should be thinking about creating something like this, something that gets you ahead of the competition. That's why we do all of this work. That's why we look at using tools that are future proof, that are AI capable, and also creating a full process around it. Because it all starts with the process, to be honest. Now, if I would ask any of you business owners, what's your process? It could look something like this, right? Because you've been building your process along the years and stacking pieces of your process on top of each other until it becomes a huge process or a huge mess, I would say, if you look at some of these processes. And then you would think about, okay, well, how does your process look like, right? Well, if I ask business owners to visualize, to help me visualize their process, and ask them, like, how does your visualization look like? Honestly, most of the visualizations looks like this. I mean, they don't have any visualization. There is nothing, literally nothing. Okay, good. But how do you know then what is the process, right? Where do you store your process? Well, most cases it's in their head. It's in their head, and it's a sad thing to see, because if you can just visualize a process like this, where in one view you can more or less see what's happening, it's not that pretty yet. It's just really visualizing what's going on and what is the kind of journey some of the information is following, or the customer. From there, this is where we start from, right? If we're talking to a business owner, then we do this kind of visualization, very, very simplified visual, to turn that into an actual mapping of the business process, step by step, in detail, really linking that to the tools that people are using or should be using, or what we have created, right? If we look at PyDrive, for example, well, this process was transformed. This is from another customer, but we were transforming their process as well, and also using PyDrive. And then you can see each step is linking to a specific process, so it's very easy for anybody to come on board and to see what is actually the process, right? We also create a second brain, which means that we document what we create through videos, through also writing it down, using tools within 365 as well. So again, that you have one single place of truth for your company. Then we can also build out and visualize the customer process. How does it look like from discovery to invoicing? What kind of tools, what kind of automations do we need? All of that is possible. And if you then look at what is the actual impact of automating, of streamlining, of creating these kind of processes, well, here's another situation where our customer was spending 11.5 hours per day on their business on average, right? And if you look at what is the cost, every business owner has a specific hourly rate. Doesn't even matter that you're not charging for what you do, or you're charging in another way. If you think about how many hours you work, how much revenue you do, you can create a calculation so you can see how much do you earn per month. So if you see this, and if you see like, okay, the amount of hours that you're working, if you work 11.5 hours, so for yourself, if you charge 300 per hour, for example, right? So that means that on a monthly, your own cost is like 96,000 here, right? In this calculation, it's 96,000. 13,000 that you should be able to actually invoice if you would charge per hour. Now, if you systemize, if you streamline your process, if you do all of this, then you could save some time here. And this is again on average. And if you look at from 11.5, right? Or what did I say? From 11.5 here, we could help you save some time. We can go to 9.3 hours per day on average, which means that we can save 186 hours per month, which means that we save 13,000 per month. So that's an average of 19%. So an average saving of 90%. If we look at some of these tasks that the business owner was doing and how we can save time, streamlining the process, making sure that we consolidate the tools, creating that single place of truth, right? So on an annual basis, that would mean 140K in annual savings. By the time that you save for yourself, or the time that you streamline your sales process so you'll have more capacity, actually, you are able to convert more clients, potential clients. In this case, where we calculated the actual revenue increase, would be 150K. So the total value of 290K that we could bring into that business. That is crazy valuable. And this is a very conservative calculation for this specific business. So you can 100% calculate what it would bring you as value on a yearly basis. And another example was 11 Ways, where we were able in just 6 months hit their annual revenue goal of 500K per year. We helped them increase their overall revenue by 60%, and we helped them win back 25 hours per week for the CEO doing fulfillment. So the CEO was still doing a lot of fulfillment in this company, and we were able to win back 25 hours per week. So just do a calculation there. If you would charge yourself, if you would charge 300 euros per hour for yourself, then you know what kind of value that we have saved here for yourself. We were also, because again, the capacity, the revenue growth, the capacity to deliver more projects faster, more customers, they were able to grow their team, which in effect grows the company again and again. That's what we're going for. So the consolidation of the tools and streamlining of processes is not just to be fancy here. It's really to drive business growth. It's really to drive efficiency, revenue, more customers, saving time. That's the biggest benefit of it all. And if you want to know if your company is actually future proof and you're ready to really scale that business in a way that you can do this, save money, streamline your business, get more customers, more capacity, more team members, and so on, well, go to quiz.titanify.biz to find out if your business is really ready to thrive or it's ready to dive. That's it. That's the presentation. It's a big presentation. I know it takes a long time here before I was done with this. So I'm going to do this actually tomorrow. And I have 10 minutes. So I'm going to go very quickly. I'm going to skip a lot of things here probably. But I really wanted to do this extensively today for you, so you have an idea of what we do, how a day of a small business owner could look like if they streamline their processes, right? Going from something like this, more than a dozen of tools here to do some of these tasks, into something like, and if I go back to down here, I didn't do the last one. I should do this one. And going to something like this, right? Less tools, and then we use less tools. We really visualize and streamline the process. We create that second brain. That's, yeah, those are the main pieces, right? I can talk a lot about what are the feature sets and so on of all these tools, which is cool to see. But in essence, it's really about this, right? It's visualizing the process, streamlining the process, really automating the process where necessary, and creating that single place of truth is what we do to eventually get results like this, right? Or get results like this. That's completely possible here. Awesome. So that's what we do, dear friends. That's how we do it. I hope that made a little bit of sense. Let's see if we have some comments here. Oh, no audio on TikTok. I don't know why. That's weird. I must have not activated the audio there. So on TikTok, no audio. Sorry about that. But on all the other platforms, there should have been audio. That's again let's say the issues if you're doing a lot of the things at the same time. And I need a better setup for sure. I need a better setup. Wait, let's see if I can actually. Why is there no audio? That is weird. How do I do this? Oh, here. Device not connected. Well, it should be. Microphones. Is this? Delete. I need to. Okay, now I should have audio. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. Now I have audio. Sorry about that. Sorry, Robin. I saw that you tried to call me as well. I guess it was about that. Sorry. Yeah. And I look. I need to upgrade my setup because I don't have a second screen, so I don't even see. I don't even see the chats. Yeah, this was really a little bit of a test of a presentation that I was going to do tomorrow anyway. So I'm gonna keep it short today. But thanks for joining anyway and watching on TikTok. Next time I will make sure that to have the audio for sure there as well. And thanks for the horseshoe. Look, I'm gonna be honest, on TikTok I have no idea what all of that means, but thank you anyway. And I just love to do these things. I love to go live and talk about what I'm doing and showing in real time all of these kind of automations as well. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Oh, really? Yay, I made money doing this. Oh my God. So it is, I guess it is a legit business as well if you want to really earn some money with this. But yeah, I have to make it a little bit better, a better setup. So yeah, so the presentation, what was it about? I don't know if you got to see a little bit of it. The presentation was all about like trying to explain what we do with Titanify and how we can help the small business owners especially. Because it's not always as easy to explain to people what it is that we do and how we can help them. It's all about, I would say it's about streamlining processes, visualizing processes, automating where possible, and consolidating a lot of the tools that people are using, making sure that they are integrated well, and using AI on top of that. And if you can do it through 365, even better, because that's our expertise, I guess, as well, especially if you see what CoPilot is capable of. It is crazy powerful. I don't know if you've just seen also the recall function that Microsoft launched. It's going to be crazy. I think really, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, Microsoft is winning this AI race. especially in the productivity sense within businesses. For corporates, 100%, because a lot of the corporates are using 365, but also the smaller business owners. The upside of having a 365 license with CoPilot will be undeniable. Even if even if ChatGPT comes out with new versions and new tools and so on, the fact, and this is also the whole point of what we do, right? About what we do with Titanify. The whole point is to integrate a lot of these tools with each other, making sure that you don't need to use 10 tools to do one thing or to execute one process. If you can use one tool, two tools max, and it integrates seamlessly with each other, plus you have the AI capability, like a ChatGPT that is connected to Word, for example, why wouldn't you use it, right? Instead of then copy pasting all your data towards ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI tool that you want to use, if you can keep it within your own environment, it seems a no-brainer to me. And I know that not a lot of people, especially small business owners, really like Microsoft because it has that kind of corporate feel to it with their tools, but they are getting a lot better on that. Even with tools like Dynamics 365, with their ERP system, they have their own CRM system. It used to be very clunky, very corporate, very complicated, but they are setting huge steps towards more capabilities, more streamlining stuff, make it more fancy. And this is what I also want to bring to these live streams, is that you can just showing you these tools and showing what you can do with them, so you can learn more about it and see what are the capabilities. Because also something that I said before, you can use something like Pipedrive, as I have shown. A lot of people use Pipedrive, but you can also use Dynamics 365 for sales. In terms of cost, it's a little bit more expensive, yeah, and if you add CoPilot to that, it is more expensive. But the time savings and eventually being able to integrate with all of your data within 365, it outweighs the cost for me. It outweighs the costs. The automations that you can build on that, the streamlining of the process. If you've seen, like with the case study, if you have a sales process that's using 5-6 tools to be able to follow up with your potential customers, I don't know if that's the best idea. And for each of these tools, while some of them might be free, it's never free, because they might lack features where you need other tools that do cost money, or it slows you down, and time is money as well, right? So for me, that's something that is very important to understand as a business owner. We all want to trim down our costs, but we keep adding these tools to our to our tech stack, right? We see all of these fancy tools. We want to all bring them together and we want to use them. And after a couple of months, we then use another tool and then another tool and then another tool. And because we think that we are getting better at it, that we are streamlining it, that we are saving costs, but actually we're not. Actually, we're not really saving a lot of money or time. Because of all these tools that are not really integrated with each other, we're losing time. And if you lose time, you lose money, right? And if you've seen the calculation, and check YouTube if you want to see really the video with audio, or LinkedIn or whatever. But if you see the calculation, just the conservative calculation of time that could be saved and the value connected to that time, it's a no-brainer that you try to consolidate as much as you can and streamline as much as you can. So, hey Amber. Amber is here as well. Amber is my niece. It's cool to see somebody of the family that actually is watching my videos. Anyway, I'm gonna keep it to this right now. Thank you everybody for watching. It was a short one. And Amber, you have to be earlier next time. So I'm going live almost every week around this time on Tuesday, where I will be talking about what I do in my business and how I create automations and all IT stuff related stuff. So feel free to join. And Amber, you're also doing IT, so it might be interesting for you as well. But keep following my account. You will see more of this. And if you want to see the recording of this video with more details and audio this time, you can go to my YouTube channel. Link is in our profile and on TikTok as well. So go there and go find out what we are doing. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Robin, so much for your horseshoe. I love it. I love to see that. And we will see each other another time very soon again. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See ya.